when we're in a state of fear or we're in a state of anxiety, we're very often imagining something, and that imagining has an effect on the body. That imagining makes the heart contract and beat faster. So there's a relationship between the heart and imagination. When there's something that we are imagining, the body has something to prepare for. This, of course, can lead to all sorts of problems because very often the things that we're imagining are not real. So in a conflict, if you're imagining that the other person has meant something by what they've said, your whole body, your heart, and your mind will start to prepare for that interpretation. And what we can do to counteract that is to find a pleasant sensation or to find a sense of well-being or a sense of gratitude. And that has what is called in the scientific literature the undue effect of positive emotion. So when we fear something, our body prepares for that specific action. When we imagine something, our body prepares for that specific action. If we recognize that that interpretation is not only happening in the mind, but it's also happening in the body, then perhaps we can look to the heart as a way of neutralizing that interpretation, of opening our mind or unclenching our heart, because the heart has such a profound influence on how we feel and what we see. So in this meditation, I want you to start by just checking in. From wherever you're sitting right now or standing, just take a moment to see what's there. Is there a vibratory, alive, buzzing sensation anywhere in your body? In your feet or in your hands? In your face or in your belly? That buzzing sensation is going to be very important later on, so see if you can make some connection with that. If you find it in your hands, then stay with that sensation. And if you lose it, you can try to find it somewhere else. The next instruction is just to get a little bit more comfortable. If there's any possibility of relaxing the muscles in your face, the muscles in your glutes, the muscles in your shoulders, and just take that opportunity to relax a little bit more, even 1% more. So the first real task that we're going to do is we're going to work with positive sensation. So I want you to remember something. I want you to remember something that gave you joy, something with other people, something with your friends, something with your family, a moment of shared joy. And take a moment to fish out that memory. And once you've found it, see if remembering that memory also gives you a memory of the feeling that you had at that moment. And then, in the same way that we were focusing on the fuzzy, vibratory sensation of the body, try to notice that same quality of feeling in this memory. Can you notice somewhere in your body that you feel this vibratory sensation? If you are struggling to find it from that memory, you can try a different memory. But you want to recollect a specific moment. See if that brings a sensation with it. And then focus on the sensation and let the memory fade. And see if this exercise gives you a sense of well-being. It doesn't have to. We're going to share similar other exercises, so it's not a problem if it doesn't, but see if you get a sense of well-being from this feeling good. And as we continue this for another moment, I want you to see if you can directly notice what effect this has on your heart. If you can pay attention to that space slightly left of your center, what happens to that space, that whole area to the left of your chest, when you have this good feeling, this feeling of well-being? Can you feel your heart relaxing? The next assignment, the next task, is to reflect on something you're genuinely grateful for. It could be a person whose presence in your life you're grateful for. Could be something material, a house, or food, or the place that you live, or just take a moment to reflect on something you're genuinely grateful for, personally grateful for, emotionally grateful for. Something that, if it was no longer around, you would be at a loss. Again, we want to choose now something specific. And with that specific choice, pay attention to the buzzing vibratory quality inside your body and how that changes under gratitude. When you find something that you're grateful for, can you notice how it impacts your body to be grateful? Can you be sensitive to the whole body whilst being grateful? If you're finding it difficult to stay with one thing, let yourself wander around a little bit, maybe until you find something a bit stronger. And if you find something a bit stronger to be grateful for, try to stay with it, try to concentrate on it. And if you find that it's just not giving you that good feeling, even though you are grateful for it, just try something else. Continuously asking if you can be even 1% more relaxed, more comfortable, because the quieter you are, the more you can hear. The more relaxed you are, the more sensitive you will be. Sensitive to change. Lastly, once you've found that sense of gratitude in your body, pay closer attention to your heart and see if that fabric conditioner of the heart effect is active here. If you can feel that your heart is softening or opening or relaxing, even a little bit, from the bodily experience of gratitude. So now that we have these two tools, we have memory and gratitude, I want you to give yourself a little bit of time to let your mind wander as it normally probably does. And that wandering mind is not localized to the mind, it's also the kind of imagining that will affect your heart. If you're thinking about what you're going to eat for dinner, or you're thinking about the taxes that you have not yet done, these are things that will also find their way into your heart. So whilst you're letting your mind wander, as it probably normally does, see if you can find this fabric conditioner of the heart. See if you can find this good feeling inside the body. See if you can gently reflect on a connected, joyful moment or a sense of gratitude, and see how that affects your heart and your feeling of preparation for specific action. You might also notice if your heart starts beating more quickly, are you thinking? So you might notice it going from thought to heart, but you also might notice going from heart to thought. And really encourage your mind to wander. It's not a bad thing in this moment to get lost in thought. Don't push it away, but welcome it tenderly. And see how it changes. Jiddu Krishnamurti and many other thinkers have equated thought with fear. That thought originates in fear, in preparation for an imagined negative outcome. To explore that, and to explore this, we're going to do one last thing, which is a visualization task. So I want you to imagine, and if you can hear the rain going on around me, this might be challenging, but I want you to imagine that you're at the beach. I want you to imagine that it's a sunny day and you can feel the sand underneath your feet. You can smell the salt in the air. You can hear the seagulls above. And make it vivid, the bright light of the sun. And your friend points out, and you can imagine a specific friend, maybe someone who is a little bit more daring than you are. Someone who you feel is a little bit more daring than you are. And your daring friend, they point out that there is a diving board, tower, and the two of you walk up to the first level, which is 3 meters. So you walk out to the edge. Now you're on the plank, looking down, and you can see the gentle waves underneath and the deep water. And you look down and you consider jumping. And as you're doing this, as you're imagining what it looks like to look down at 3 meters and how it would feel to consider jumping, apply that fabric conditioner of the heart. Not with the intention of jumping or with forcing anything, but just to relax the heart. Find that good feeling in the body. Find that sense of gratitude. And see if there's a sense of well-being in that thoughtlessness. See if you can feel your heart relax in that thoughtlessness. And if you would like to, you can jump. Now you're brought up the ladder to the next level at 5 meters. You can imagine climbing up, standing upon that platform and walking out to the plank. Now at 5 meters, standing above the water and looking down. Feeling the wind, seeing the height. And notice what happens in your mind, notice what happens in your heart as you're looking at the jump. Is there a sense of contraction? Is there a tension in the heart or in the stomach? Does the mind start to go? And very gently, if you feel like it, you can apply that fabric conditioner of feeling good or experiencing gratitude. And you can go the cognitive route. You can recall a memory and then come into the feeling, or you can recall an object of gratitude and then come into the feeling, or you can come directly into the feeling. Whatever is easier for you. But see what happens. You're standing at that 5-meter edge. And see what happens when you're still there. You haven't gone anywhere else. But you're applying that fabric conditioner, softening and opening the heart. There's no pressure to jump. It's completely your choice. And if you would like to, you can jump. And next we go up one more time, up the ladder, up to 10 meters. Perhaps if you're listening to this and you're very familiar with jumping into water, you could imagine 20 meters. Just to give you a little extra sense of uncertainty. That's what the heart contracts into. If you're very familiar with jumping into water and 10 meters is not interesting to you, then you could imagine 15 or 20 meters. Just to give yourself the opportunity to experience how thought comes as a response to uncertainty. How the heart contracts in imagination as a response to uncertainty. So climbing up that ladder, up to the 10 or the 15 or the 20, but let's say 10. And you walk now at the very top with nothing above your head but the sky. And you walk out to the edge of the plank and you feel the contraction in your muscles. You feel the small shuffling steps of your feet, perhaps. And you stand at that edge looking down 10 meters, visualizing it as best you can with the 2 diving boards underneath of 5 and 3 meters. You can see the whole beach. Take the moment to see what's happening inside your heart. If the heart has started to beat more quickly. And see what's happening inside your head. Do you start to think about what might happen? Whether you're safe or not. One more time, we'll apply that fabric conditioner. With no pressure to jump whatsoever. Entirely your choice. We find a sense of gentleness inside the body. We find that good feeling inside the body. We come through memory, we come through gratitude, or we find that good feeling directly somewhere in the body. The hands or the feet or the face. That dull, buzzing, vibratory quality. And take a moment to concentrate on that. See how that changes the heart. See how that changes the mind. And then if you find a deep sense of calmness, from that calmness you might find a sense of choice. And then perhaps you can choose whether you want to jump or not. And if you feel like it, you can jump. So thank you for sitting with me. I hope that this has given you some tools and some context for exploring those tools. There are nuances that haven't been explored in the relationship between the heart and imagination and curiosity, and why the heart might have